guys? Welcome back to Guys at the Seven Football. I'm FPL Rich, and I'm joined here by.
MIGS.
And here we're going to go over our Game Week 3 transfer plans, and as well we're going to go over some of the best players to buy over the coming fixtures. But let's first go over how we performed in Game Week 2. Now moving on to our Game Week 2 review. First off, I managed to get 93 points, pretty good overall in terms of a game week. Overall, I had pretty good players in for this game week. Some players that outshined throughout my team were Palmer, Gordon, Smith Rowe, Howland, and Robinson. Robinson first with that assist against Leicester. I think he performed very well, and Fulham do have a couple of good fixtures coming up as well. Now moving on to Palmer. Palmer did very exceptionally well within that Wolves game. He did manage to score a goal and did get those 3 assists that Madueke did score. And Gordon as well. Overall, Gordon didn't look as promising throughout the game, but he did manage to score a goal towards the end of the game. So overall, I'm pretty proud of that. As well with Smith Rowe, he also did very well against Leicester. He scored a goal. And Holland scored 3 goals against Ipswich. I do know that some managers did triple captain him. I kind of just kept my captaincy on him. I'm probably going to save my triple captain for a double game week.
Now going on to what I did for game week 2, I also got 93 points. I actually did go from a 4 million rank to a little bit under 1 million. So hopefully we could keep that going. But just some players to note out from my team this week. Player that didn't do very well, Garnacho only got 1 point. Also coming off of the bench again. And then he did get a goal, but it didn't count because Zerzinski did end up touching on the line, so it was offside. But another player also did get a goal the first week, but this week really didn't show much. And then just some players, Holland obviously with 34, 3 goals. But I think this where it was crucial the most. These players really showed out this week. Palmer with 3 assists and then a goal. And then Son, a player that I was really, really keeping an eye out. So I'm probably going to be keeping him because he did get 16 points, got 2 goals. So these players did really come out and delivered this week.
Okay, now moving on to the best fixtures for Game Week 3. We have 4 teams listed here, not only based on the fixtures, but also the players to target.
So first on our list here, we have Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Chelsea is going to be playing at home, and I actually think this is probably the best fixture of this week. And really with Palmer and Madueke coming up, 3 goals from Madueke, really a player to maybe even consider for your team. Palmer, even for a captaincy in there, he did get 3 assists and a goal last week. And not so much with the Chelsea defense. I wouldn't bet too much on them. But other than, I would say, Palmer and Madueke, if you're really tempted to go for those points. But definitely some players to keep in mind for that picture.
Okay, so now moving on to Aston Villa against Leicester. I think Aston Villa against Leicester is a very good fixture here to target some of those players like Watkins, Rogers, and Konza. I am definitely looking at Konza since I do have Konza still in my team. Especially against Leicester, where they did fall short against Fulham last week, and with a good performance that Fulham did put up against them. And Aston Villa are a very good side against Arsenal. They did lose 2-0, but there were a lot of chances, especially for Watkins, to put away. And I think against Leicester, we're going to see a very strong Aston Villa side. Next up, we do have Man City against West Ham. This is an away fixture, but Man City are such a good side that I do have to put them on this list pretty much every single week. Up against West Ham, West Ham did lose their last fixture, I believe. Oh no, West Ham did win their last fixture against Crystal Palace 2-0. Crystal Palace are pretty dreadful towards the starting of this season, but I think against Man City, West Ham are going to falter. And if you're trying to target some of these players like Holland, De Bruyne, and Guardiola, I do believe those players are definitely going to get some good points within this fixture.
Now going finally on to picture number 4, we got Fulham against Ipswich. Fulham is going to be playing away against Ipswich. Ipswich, which they have 2 defeats in the season, newly promoted team, and honestly, some players that really you could focus on for from this Fulham team is if you don't have him already, Robinson being a very good attacker, attacking defense. A Smith Rowe, who is a cheaper option in there. Um, and then also Muniz, a great attacker, hasn't gotten any goals as of yet, but I do think this is a good fixture for him and for these other players. They are going to be going home up against West Ham and then Newcastle. So I think if you're going to be bringing in like a Smith Rowe, I know he's on like limited minutes. He's been playing limited minutes, but I do think if you get him this week, he is a good option. And then going at home, he could maybe gather some more minutes, but definitely some good picks. Now going on to the best players to buy for not just this week, but also maybe like the upcoming weeks, going into like game week 5, game week 6. We compiled a list of 5, but first on our list, we have Cole Palmer from Chelsea. He is he has a price tag of 10.5 million. I do have him, and FPL Rich does have him on his team already. But even to Captain Palmer, he did get 17 points last week with 3 assists and then a goal in there. I do like this player a lot as they are going to be going up against Crystal Palace at home, where I do see a lot of potential for goals and even maybe some assists, similar to how they did against Wolves, especially with this Crystal Palace side, which haven't started really strong in the season. Definitely a player to keep in mind.
Okay, so now moving on to our next player on this list, we do have Kevin De Bruyne. Over the next 5 fixtures, he does have a couple of good ones, 3 in fact. West Ham, Brentford, and Fulham against Arsenal. It is a tougher fixture, but he is at home for that fixture though. And I always rate Kevin De Bruyne against Arsenal. I do believe he always performs in those bigger games. Um, Kevin De Bruyne has spiked up a bit in terms of price. He has gone up from 9.5 to 9.6 over the last couple of days. Over that good game against Ipswich that he did have, he did manage to kind of do a lot of. He did get a goal and assist to Holland, so it does seem to be that Kevin De Bruyne has kind of picked up that form, especially with Holland in the team. Kevin De Bruyne has always been probably the best player on the pitch to kind of assist Holland in terms of goals. Now moving on to our next player, we do have Smith Rowe from Fulham. He also has gone in price to 5.6 over his good over his good game that he did have against Ipswich. I do believe Fulham also have the next 5 fixtures for Fulham are pretty good, except for a couple of those which are Man City and Newcastle. But the other 3 are pretty good. The next coming fixture is Ipswich, which is why he has gone up in price for a bit. Against Ipswich, I do believe Fulham are gonna perform very well. Fulham are a very good side in terms of defensively and also offensively. Muniz, I think the main player that kind of struggles with it, but overall, Smith Rowe is a very good option for the next 5 fixtures. Now moving on to our 4th option on this list is going to be Konza from Aston Villa. He is at 4.5, a defender. With some players, or with some managers still having Kwanzaa on their team, which is me. I still have Kwanzaa, but I have transferred him out for Konza. Given the fixtures, I do believe Aston Villa do have the second best fixtures with Leicester, Everton, Wolves, Ipswich, and Man United. Even against Man United, I still rate Aston Villa since they are a very good side. And I do believe Konza is going to be starting a lot of these fixtures. If not, he's going to be playing the full 90 minutes.
All right. And lastly on our list, it's not just one players, but we do have a set of players. And these players are actually from the Brighton team. We have Matoma, Joao Pedro, and then Dunk. Matoma with 6.6, he did go up in price. Joao Pedro 5.5 and Dunk in 4.5. I do like these players. I wouldn't do a transfer into Arsenal this week, but going forward, I'm definitely myself gonna be doing a transfer either with I'm gonna get Joao Pedro, or I'm even considering like a Denny Welbeck in there, which has been doing pretty well. But they have Ipswich next week, and then they have Nottingham Forest at home, both at home. After that, they have Chelsea and then Tottenham. Also, I do think these are good fixtures considering they've been playing pretty well. They've been playing very well actually.
Okay, so now moving on to my Game Week 3 transfer plan. I do have one free transfer and pretty much no money in the bank, but I have gotten rid of, since this screenshot, this is an older screenshot, since this screenshot I have gotten rid of Solanke, since Solanke is currently injured, and I do have a bit of more money in the bank. So my first transfer for this week is going to be getting rid of Kwanzaa, of course, to that cons that I did speak about, since Kwanzaa does have, Aston Villa do have a lot of those good fixtures, and overall I do believe Kwanzaa is a very good defensive pick. Now moving on to my next transfer on this list, I did decide to do a -4 for this fixture for this game week, since Bruno Fernandes has since then gone down in price, but I did get rid of him before he did kind of go down in price, and I did get rid of De Bruyne, or Bruno Fernandes, to a Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City. I have talked about De Bruyne as well within this video. De Bruyne is a very good option for me, since I do believe he does have good fixtures even against Arsenal. I do believe Kevin De Bruyne does perform very well.
So now going on to my game week 3 transfer plan. I did have one extra transfer from game week 2, but I did roll it over to this game week. And I've already did one transfer already. As you can see on the screen, I did go from a Garnacho to a Rogers. As I with Garnacho, it's kind of unseen. Is he going to be a starter this upcoming game against Liverpool? Is he going to lose? I didn't want to lose the price with Garnacho, so I really liked how Rogers has been playing, and I like his fixtures. He does have a really good fixture up against Leicester City, and then the upcoming fixtures as well. I think he's due up for some really good points, and that's why I did this transfer. And then I still do I only did one transfer for this week, but I still do have Kwanzaa. I'm still debating on a defender if I want to get rid of him. I know I think Kwanzaa might be going down again, but I'm still a little uncertain on who I could bring in for my team. Swapping out Kwanzaa, but for my defense, I might not be doing a transfer. We'll see. I might be rolling that transfer for next week.
Now moving on to my Game Week 3 team selection, I'm lining up with a 3-4-3 with 0.3 in the bank. I do have a couple of millions to spend if I do so, please. First of all, in goal, I do have Henderson, and my back three is as follows: Guardiola, Robinson, and Kwanzaa. I did bench Pedro Porro over Kwanzaa just because Spurs always do kind of seem to perform very bad against Newcastle away. Into my midfield, I do have Palmer, Gordon, Smith Rowe, and De Bruyne. If you were to have a Salah in this team, they would be facing Man United away. And if you did have Palmer in your team as well with Salah, I would probably captain Palmer over Salah for this fixture, just because of that very good performance that Palmer did put. But for me, I'm probably going to keep my captaincy on Haaland. And moving on to my front three, I do have Muniz, Havertz, and Haaland. Hopefully Muniz does pick up that form against Ipswich and starts getting on the score sheet. And hopefully Smith Rowe and Robinson keep those points, keep producing those points. And as I said before, my captaincy is on Haaland. I cannot really get rid of that captaincy on Haaland just because he did manage to get a hat trick, and you can't really get rid of a captaincy when a player does kind of go on a hot streak like that.
Now going on to my lineup for game week 3, I do have Henderson in goal. He does have that Chelsea game. I'm not expecting much from him, but my back line of 3, I have Guardiola, Robinson, and White. And then my midfield, Palmer, Son, Rogers, Diego Jota. And then up top, Wood, Haaland, and Muniz. And then just some things to point out here. Most of my players are going to be playing away, but I do like their fixtures. Palmer, I do have my captaincy on Palmer. I like what I saw last week. As I said before, I think this is the best fixture of this week. So if you're really tempted to, I think Palmer will be a good captaincy. I do see Holland getting a goal. I like how the thing is with Holland, it's West Ham. They've been playing. It's gonna be away. I'm not saying they're not gonna win or Holland. I do think Holland might get a goal in there, but it's gonna be a tougher fixture. I like this Crystal Palace, a little weaker side. Palmer, what he showed last week, I'm hoping he'll be able to show it again. And then Son, a player that I did end up keeping. He does have Newcastle a little tougher. He's going to be playing away, but I'm also hoping that he would be able to show up. And then Rogers, I believe this is his time to really show what he's worth, and then get some points in. I really like his form, how he's been playing, and then Diego Jota up against, hoping he'll get some good points as well. And then just gonna be giving Wood another shot. He's gonna be playing at home against Wolves, so he didn't play all that good last week, but I this is probably the player I'm gonna be transferring out. Whether he does good or not, I'm gonna be transferring Wood out next week. For, like I said, maybe a Danny Welbeck or a Joao Pedro. I'm still a little uncertain, but I'm probably gonna be looking for like a game week 6 wild card. But this is my team for this week. I do have forgot to say 1.5 million in the bank. Still a little uncertain on whether I'm gonna be doing another transfer for Kwanzaa.
That is all we have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys all next week for Game Week 4.